So here's something we definitely don't see every day out walking the trails. There are just wild burros behind us just roaming the desert. It's really cool, not a reptile or anything, but still really cool to see. Check those guys out.
One thing I've noticed since we've been out here, it is mid to late October, and I've been noticing a lot of tarantulas running around in the middle of the day at night. And the reason for that is September and October is actually these guys' mating season. So the males are out running around looking for females. So another thing you can find out here in the desert at night is actually amphibians. They come out, a lot of them are nocturnal, so they do come out at night to escape the heat of the day. This here is a red-spotted toad. Now they are kind of quick, which is expected to be out here in the desert, but just look at them go. It's real cool to see. So I am really glad we came back out at night because we got a sidewinder here. Now this one, he is not happy with me. He was out cruising around, but he coiled up real quick. They are a small species of rattlesnake, so he's just sitting here eyeing me down, making sure I don't get any closer. He's shaking his tail heavily, but they have two really cool, unique features. One is the way they move. They don't move like a regular snake. They kind of lift their body and propel themselves. It helps them glide really easy across the sands in the desert floor. It also helps them bury in the sand, which actually leads to their second unique feature, is they have these really large ocular scales right above their eyes, which kind of give the appearance of horns. Now, that helps them when they bury in the sand. It helps keep the sand from covering their eyes so they can ambush small prey items. They are so cool. This one's really pretty, very dark colors on them, but we're gonna try and get a couple photos and watch him and just see if he'll start moving around for us. If he calms down a little bit, he might realize we're not trying to eat him, and then we can just kind of watch him go on his way, and hopefully we can get that on footage for you. But this is so cool, such a cool snake. There are so many quail.
So we've had a little bit of bad luck this morning. We started out early to get some hiking in before it got too hot, and unfortunately every trail we went to was closed. Apparently there was a hurricane that came through here and destroyed a lot of these trails, so as they're trying to repair them and stuff, they've got them closed. Now we've just been doing some cruising, driving around the area, kind of looking at the scenery, and of course Matt noticed this piece of tin over here. Can you zoom in on that? And you never want to neglect something like that when you're driving around, because you never know what will live under it. Fortunately, we found this night snake. Now, this is a really cool snake. This is one of my favorite snakes to see out here in the desert, and we've never seen it during the day. And as you can tell by the name, night snake, it's a nocturnal snake. Now, what's cool about these guys is they have vertical pupils. Hopefully we can zoom in here and you can really get a good look at them, but they have the vertical pupils to help them see at night. Now normally I know people associate vertical pupils with like highly venomous snakes that are super harmful to humans. However, this guy here, though he is venomous, they are rear fanged, so that means that they're going to have a really hard time injecting their venom into humans and instead use it for their prey. It's just a really, really cool little snake. I'm so glad we get to see it during the day so I can get some good pictures.
Alright, so I don't know how well you can see the scenery behind me, but we decided to climb up to some higher elevations today. And one particular lizard that is partial to higher elevations is the collared lizard. This is a Great Basin collared lizard. He's a little small, if you can see him right over there. I don't want to get too close to spook him out, but they are a very, very pretty lizard. They do get a lot bigger than this, but this one's really cool. He's got these like orange Oh, I'm falling down the hill. He's got these like orange spots all over his back. This is a really cool find. This is a desert tortoise. Now these guys, they hide from the heat of the day in burrows they dig out. One thing that's kind of cool about them is they have this big spur that comes out from their plastron up under his head. Now, they'll use that in battle with other males to show dominance. This is such a cool find, to find something like this just roaming the desert. I really love seeing these guys. That's awesome. All right, so we are close to a road, actually, so I want to make sure he's going away from the road, which he is, but you got to be sure not to pick these guys up because they are protected. They are a protected species, so hands off completely if you ever find one of these guys. But he's going away from the road, so he's definitely going to be safe.
Oh, we need a bar. So this little snake right here is exciting for two reasons. First, this is actually a new species for us. It is a Great Basin gopher snake. The closest thing we would have back home would probably be like a pine snake or something, although those have not been seen in Maryland for about 40 years. But this is a new, like I said, it's a new species and probably one of Matt's favorite species, so it's kind of nice that he's letting me record it. This is a really, really cool little snake. As you can see here, it's kind of small. That is because this is probably a baby. Now, how do we know it's a baby? It's because these adult snakes get pretty big. They get about 8 feet long. So by the size of this, it was probably born this year. Now, we're gonna go and we're gonna hike right up here, this cavern, or this canyon, not cavern, canyon. We got out here pretty early. It's already 9 o'clock and pretty hot, so we're hoping to beat the real big heat of the day and maybe find a live rattlesnake, maybe find some more snakes, you know, whatever. But I think I do see a lizard over there, Matt. You should probably go check that out.
Little side blotch lizard just hanging out. Seen a bunch of those. So one snake I always wanted to see out here in the desert is a variable ground snake. I didn't put much thought into it as many times as we've come out here because usually you need a lot of rain to push them up. They are a fossorial snake. This one is in shed, so he's a little dull in color, but this is such a pretty snake. They do come in a lot of colors and a lot of variable patterns, hence their name. They can be solid red, have red stripes, white black banding. This one here, he's got like red saddles and this black banding, if you can get in here and closer and see him. He is such a beautiful snake. Check this thing out. All right, as always, when you flip a snake and you're ready to let it go, you should always try and put it back exactly under the same piece of cover that you found it under. So we're gonna go ahead and let this guy go. It's falling light here, and a lot of the reptiles are starting to go in. Well, a lot of the lizards are starting to go in for the night. So it's always good to take notice into cracks like this when it starts getting cooler for the diurnal species to start heading in. Because what we have in this crack right here is a chuckwalla. It's a really cool lizard. If you can, I don't know how well you're going to be able to get in here and see him, but if you want to try and get in here and look in this crack, you might be able to see him. I might put a light on there just so
really
you can see him. But let's see if
you can see his tail.
Can see him.
See, there's his little tail.
I don't have my flashlight, so we're going to use my phone.
I have my flashlight, I think. No, I don't.
There you go. If you come in right in here, you can see him. Just going in for the night. So we're out here at night now in the Mojave Desert, and Matt actually spotted this tiny gecko as it was crossing the road. So of course, you know, we had to pull over. I had to get a close-up of this guy because these are one of my absolute favorite animals to see out here in the Mojave. Now the reason being is, first of all, I think they're absolutely adorable. But they have a really unique feature where they curve their tails up. So it works in two ways. First, it's a defense mechanism. If something's trying to eat it, it looks like a scorpion. So it kind of like says, hey, I'm poisonous, you know, don't eat me. But it also works to attract scorpions. So they'll curve their tail up just like a scorpion, and then the scorpion won't run away and it can eat it. So they're just really, really cool. As you can see here, he's climbed up this little brush. So we're going to leave him alone.
Unfortunately, he's not going to do the tail thing, but that's all right. Still fun to see.
It's our last night here in the desert in our short 4-day trip, and it is getting late. It's getting pretty cold. I think it's about 62 out, but we got this desert glossy snake out just real late. Real cool to see. Very smooth snake. This one's pretty big. Always love seeing these guys, but this might be our last snake of the trip, so we're going to enjoy him and send him on his way, because I don't know what he's doing out in this cold weather.